Right.
Okay.
Welcome to the ESTA interview. Today,
Are we on?
we are on.
Thanks for letting me know.
It's okay. It's the spontaneous nature of our interviews, Larry. So we have the next in our series of ESTA interviews. This one is with Larry Jones, who is a Tai Chi teacher working at the Lancaster School of Tai Chi Chuan. Have I got that right, Larry?
You have indeed, yes.
Right. Well, first thing we've got half an hour. It goes faster than you think.
Yep.
The first thing to establish is, what is Tai Chi?
What is Tai Chi? What is Tai Chi? What is Tai Chi? This is the question I really love. Tai Chi changes from day to day. It changes from teacher to teacher. It's changed completely throughout the years, throughout the ages. Tai Chi actually originated about 4,000 years ago. It's a philosophy. Tai Chi is a philosophy tied in with Taoism, with the Book of Changes, with the Tao Te Ching. It was a distinct philosophy of life that went with Taoism. It was a Tai Chi is something born of Wuji. Wuji is the great emptiness, the great nothing. Tai Chi translates as supreme ultimate. So what does Tai Chi mean? What does supreme ultimate mean? I heard one teacher explain that as meaning pretty big. Supreme ultimate is pretty big. And supreme ultimate what? So we have the supreme ultimate, which is a force. It's a life force. It's a philosophy. It's a way of being. From Tai Chi came Tai Chi Chuan. Tai Chi Chuan is the martial art that is born from Tai Chi. And from Tai Chi Chuan, we've eventually come to today to Tai Chi. And Tai Chi is a soft, gentle exercise that's stimulating. It's interesting. It's fun to play with. It helps you with your breathing. That helps us with our internal energies, our internal balance. And so Tai Chi today is a gentle exercise that absolutely anybody can do. You don't have to be a strong martial artist to do Tai Chi. For Tai Chi Chuan, of course you do. But for Tai Chi, no, it's a gentle exercise. It's used for patients in rehab.
Well, so really, I mean, you've taken us sort of on a journey from somewhere way back in the past, the distant past,
4,000 years,
right down to if you can just use it to stay healthy. But I'm curious because you mentioned this great emptiness, and you mentioned this potential. So am I right in thinking that the great emptiness is just full of potential?
Yes. And that's the source that we try to returning to.
Would I be right in thinking that one of the things about Tai Chi is learning not to anticipate things, and when you anticipate things, you cut off that potential?
Absolutely, and that's getting into the Zen of Tai Chi. That's getting into the Zen of.
I was like to get into the Zen, Larry.
Of not yearning for results, not striving for results, but for allowing the results to come through proper disciplined spiritual practice.
Very profound, really, isn't it? It's people often look like they're doing nothing when they're doing Tai Chi, like they're almost like posers on the street. You could if they were painted silver, you'd be happy to sort of throw money into the hat. But actually, there's a lot going on internally. Yes.
I think a lot of those street performers are actually practicing their qigong.
Oh, yeah, I never thought about that.
Practicing their qigong.
Takes a heck of a lot of discipline.
They can do
to
it.
Stand there.
Yeah. There's an angle, and one element of Tai Chi is a form called Yi Chuan. Yi Chuan is separate to Tai Chi, but Tai Chi players use Yi Chuan, which is standing meditations, which would be standing in one posture for as long as you can hold it, which is a long time.
Wow. So this doesn't necessarily, I would imagine, I'm just guessing here, wouldn't necessarily, the idea of cultivating the art of standing still for a long time wouldn't necessarily appeal to your average person who's looking for a new hobby or a new recreation or a new keep fit thing. So
it's something I found that really very difficult to bring into classes. It seems a bit fraudulent to be stood there asking people to stand still and take their money off them. I mean, all they're doing is standing still. And I've been very surprised about how responsive people are to that, and how how people feel from doing that. It's been great that people do accept that element of Tai Chi.
Of course, just because you're not physically doing a lot doesn't mean to say that you're not very mindful and very present in what you're doing, is it? So we're back to the great
these kind of exercises, we find it really hard to start these exercises by ourselves, but with a teacher guiding us along, then we can really get into those exercises, and then we can perform them by ourselves. Well, I think when we try to do it by ourselves, 15 minutes is a long time to stand there. But when you've got a teacher insisting that you stay there for 15 minutes, it's easier to do that. A similar thing to press-ups. I can't do 50 press-ups by myself, but I can when my teacher's telling me. When my teacher's making the count, then I can continue and continue and continue, but I can't on my own.
That's impressive. I wouldn't be able to do 50 press-ups no matter how many people were there. So one of the aspects of Tai Chi that people kind of think about is in terms of what, it's a martial art, or so it's about defending yourself against people armed with pointed sticks. And, So has that side been lost, or how does that fit into?
Has it been lost? It depends on the teacher. It depends on the school. It depends on the students as well. For me, the whole self-defense side of Tai Chi is slippery, let's say. I think with Tai Chi we can learn to control our emotions. Tai Chi is very good for anger management. It's good against depression. It's good for building self-esteem. So when we've got control of our anger and we've got higher self-esteem, we're less vulnerable. We're less likely to be prone into attack. So Tai Chi is good for controlling the adrenaline release. So if we're presented with a situation that creates that fight, flight, freeze, we might be more in control than fighting, flying, or freezing. So in a lot of ways, Tai Chi can help in a self-defense situation.
They're very limited, those three options, really, aren't they? That's just
fight, flight, freeze.
That's just amygdala hijack, isn't it? It's basically where your chemical system takes over your body, and it either makes you run away, fight whatever's in front of you, or freeze in the hope that it won't see you and eat you. Basically, it's a very limited set of responses. So through the mindfulness and through the breathing and the awareness, presumably you learn to be more calm.
Adrenaline controlled. The body is naturally designed to run from a tremendously horrific experience. We are hardwired for stress, hardwired for anxiety. The blood will go from the head into the legs to make you run fast enough to escape that bus that's going to hit you. Now, if you're confronted in a violent situation, that same blood still goes to the legs and you tremble like jelly. That's not a good thing to be doing when you're in a confrontational situation. The Tai Chi helps you to keep that adrenaline down, keep that adrenaline controlled, so that you can deal with the situation in a more adult manner, in a more adult frame of mind. That it takes a tremendously long time to acquire the skills in order to learn to fight with Tai Chi, and to me, that's all a byproduct of Tai Chi. I think with Tai Chi, we go there for controlling emotional balance, for restoring our physical health, and if you learn to fight while you're on that journey, great. And if you don't, it doesn't matter. It's the fighting isn't the primary function of Tai Chi anymore.
So what would you say the primary? What would you say the primary function was? Yes.
I would say that it was. Yes. Definitely.
Back in the days when you were training, one was training with warrior
Tai Chi
army.
came from came from two schools. It came from Dimmak, which was the death strikes. Death strikes was working on the Meridian system. So we've got we got kidney 27 here, for example. Just there. If you stimulate that gently, then you can help anxiety. But if you whack that very hard, then you can knock somebody out. So that kidney 27 is the notch on your clavicle there, and with a strike upwards, you can get a knockout. So that's how Tai Chi came about, was understanding the Meridian system, where to strike, when to strike, which different areas to strike. It was a devastating martial.
So it's really a lot of it's about health and knowing how the human body works and how the energy systems within the human body work,
excellent.
and then using them to basically attack people.
Yeah.
So it's a sort of abusive medical insight.
I think it came from the Shaolin temples, though. I think it came from the Buddhists being attacked, and they needed to learn to defend themselves without, well, they were causing serious harm. But I do think it came from some peaceful place. There was a guy called Chang Sang Feng who was an acupuncturist. He was an acupuncturist, and he was also a martial artist. And so he got interested in how, if these points that can heal us, how devastating can it be if we attack these points? And he contrived the system of Tai Chi Chuan. So we've gone from there to the health element that it is now. So
I'm very interested in this, and the fact that you say it was a Buddhist who actually came up with this fighting technique to defend Buddhists from attack from, I don't know, Genghis Khan or his predecessor or whoever.
I think that was
very interesting.
Way back. I think that was a
far before then. Yeah, Genghis Khan's fairly recent. I understand that. But it's interesting because my understanding of Tai Chi is that you're not going out to attack anybody. You're using what comes towards you, whether it's the other person's energy or their weight or whatever, against them.
There's an element of that. There is an element of that. Yes. It's the wheels. It's the yin yang. It's the harmony. Okay. So if there's a force coming at you, you don't strike that with force, but you do strike it with great force to keep it on its trajectory. But you do. There's a myth in Tai Chi that the fighting is soft. The fighting is not soft. The fighting is hard as it gets, and but you're using the other person's force against them in their trajectory, not against their trajectory. And I think that's where the confusion comes in.
I think there's a lesson there's a lesson for life there, isn't there? Really, I mean, we face adverse circumstances. We really shouldn't meet it with adversity or with just reacting to it, but we should take a more mindful, considered approach to how we creatively deal with that adversity. But in a way, so I can begin to see how this might relate to Tai Chi as a system of health and health maintenance.
Exactly.
Which is what most of us are dealing with.
It has a psychological effect. With the amount that you work in that field, it has a psychological effect. So any confrontation, you don't meet it with force. You allow it to continue. You create a space for it to fall in on itself. In any confrontational situation.
I mean, how would you see Tai Chi being beneficial to people who just want to be a bit healthier or a bit fitter?
Yeah. How is Tai Chi beneficial? It comes from, as I said, Dimmak, which was the fighting death arts, and also Qigong. And the Qigong is the internal exercises that work through the Meridian system to strengthen all the vital organs. The Qigong keeps all of the inner workings at a constant temperature, at an even pace, so that in harmony with each other, so that the heart isn't overloaded or the kidneys. Everything's working in harmony with each other, the right responses, the right temperature, the right beat, the right pace.
And we can self-regulate that, can we?
Exactly. Yeah. So this is where Qigong comes in.
That's a big step for a lot of people, because there is a general sort of sense that if I'm not well, I need to go to a doctor or somebody else out there who's then going to fix me with a
Yeah,
medicine or
yeah,
some
yeah.
procedure. But you're
Which
talking about
brings us to
self-maintenance and
yeah,
self-fixing here,
yeah, yeah,
quite
yeah.
at a level which most people wouldn't even consider to be possible.
And you don't need to. You don't need to even. It's not. It's not like faith healing that you need to believe in it. You can just do Tai Chi for fun, and find out through the months that you're getting better. You don't need to have that mind. The mindset obviously helps. The more we use the mind to stimulate growth and healing, the better. But the exercises work by themselves.
Okay, so let's just go into this a little bit more. If I want to self-regulate the energies in my heart and my liver, for example, my stomach, how do I actually do that?
Come to one of my classes. It's very easy. Actually, no, you don't even need to. There's I'll guide you to somebody called Mimi Kuo Demir or Dima. MIMI Kuo KUO Just type in Mimi Kuo Demir, find the 8 brigades. Beautiful exercise, and it really regulates all the organs. It's practice that can be done in 10, 12 minutes. So it's an easy workout. One of the hardest things about Tai Chi is it is a very, very hard study. And quite often today, we've got people working from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. And you don't want to be then doing 3 hours of practice. The 10, 20 minutes of practice you can do. And this is where Qigong comes in. This is where people like Mimi really do come in, because they're doing great exercises that have got such positive benefits on the body, where we don't have to study a disciplined art.
Okay, so I mean, presumably you would like people to come to your classes.
Absolutely, yes.
So what do you do with them in your classes? Run me through a typical class.
A typical class, right? I try to have distinctly separate classes. So if a student is very keen on studying authentic Tai Chi, they come to a certain class. If a student is more keen on just some musculoskeletal exercise that is fun, they come to a different class. So there's different classes designed for different people. One thing I don't do is insist that somebody has to learn Tai Chi. If somebody does just simply want to learn Qigong, then I help them to learn Qigong. We still play with Tai Chi, and we play with various elements of Tai Chi. Tai Chi can be a little bit intimidating to some people. Tai Chi Chuan is a series of martial arts movements that are all combat movements that are performed in a sequence, in a series that can take 25 minutes to begin to end. It's a long study.
So you can be quite fairly flexible. So you have all these tools through your own study. And how many years have you been practicing yourself?
No, it's 9.5 years now. 9.5.
So through all of that, and through all that technique and study that you've done, you've actually got quite a lot you can draw on, and then you tailor that to different groups, what their needs are.
I'll tell you a funny story, Michael. I studied in Tai Chi as a martial art for 6 years. And it's hard study, very hard study. And my first ever class, I had 4 elderly people. And the only Tai Chi that I knew was kicking and fighting. I had them sparring with each other. And I didn't get them doing press-ups. And then I showed them an introduction into the form. And they got home, and I was thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm going to have to change the lesson plan for next week. That didn't work. But there wasn't a next week. Got a phone call off them saying, sorry, Larry, never again. Now, from there, because I'd only studied in Tai Chi as a martial art, from there, I went and I found a teacher specifically teaching Tai Chi for rehab. Now, that guy has donut breaks in his class. I don't have donut breaks in my class, but I did bring in a lot of the gentleness that he's taught me to bring in. A lot of the make Tai Chi fun, which That's not our school. Our school doesn't come from the make Tai Chi fun. Our school is, let's do Tai Chi.
But okay, so you've learned a lot along the way. So you've been teaching for a while as well. How long have you been teaching? How long since that first fateful
No,
class
I
with
think
full
it's only about
bemused?
4 years, 4.5 years.
How do people find you if they want to connect with you? They go, you know what, this sounds interesting.
Yeah. A lot of people just Google Tai Chi Lancaster on the internet, and you'll find our school. It comes straight up on a Google search. A lot of people find us through Saltaire. There was an exercise called the Active Lives program in Saltaire, where Saltaire were encouraging people with any needs to be more mobile, more motivated, to access 12 free classes. And a lot of people were accessing the Tai Chi classes. A lot of people stayed in the Tai Chi classes after that.
I have to say to everybody that we are, for those viewers who don't know where Saltaire is, we're broadcasting from the beautiful small northern city, UK city of Lancaster. So Saltaire is the leisure centre.
Oh, good. Yeah. It's going worldwide, isn't it?
Well, who knows? It's on YouTube, so who knows? We may have dozens of visitors from anywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I teach a strict class on a Monday evening. That's for Tai Chi students who really do want to study the complete form. Tai Chi is composed of several different elements, and one is called the Tai Chi form. Tai Chi long form originated something like 1900 from Yang Chengfu. He learned it from his uncle, who learned it from his father. So it goes back to Lu Chan. Lu Chan had a very difficult, violent form, a lot of explosive moves in it, a lot of very hard moves in it. Chengfu adapted the form to make it accessible and just easy access for everybody. He adapted it, but it's still too hard for people today. It was okay then if you had the time, and we don't have the time today to study that hard. So a guy called Lin Husheng in 1978, 1979, he created a series of 18 movements called the Shibashi, which is simple Qigongs taken from Tai Chi. And that's primarily what we get in the health centers in these places today, because it's an easy exercise to drop in and out of, or you can learn it and play with that at home.
Marvelous.
So Mondays is my serious class, and then Wednesdays and Thursdays I'm at Saltaire for the fun classes. I do a neuro dropping class on a Thursday afternoon for more seated and gentler, a lot more gentle movements. We do some back exercises there as well. And then a Friday class in Morecambe at the United Reformed Church, where we've got a good combination of everything going on there. A bit of form, a bit of Qigong, and a bit of a break for those that need the break as well.
Well, I will just say to everybody that we are actually filming this during the time of COVID. So there you go. That's dated us now. But so you won't be able to have these classes in until the restrictions lift, I guess. But
Yep.
Are you doing anything else? Is there any other way you can get out what you're doing there until the classes?
No. All I've been doing, I've not even gone near Zoom yet. This is my first experience with Zoom. So I might take this on. It depends on how long this lockdown goes on. Now, I have kept up one-to-ones with certain students that were lacking in motivation and needed a bit of one-to-one just to keep motivated to practice. I was very surprised about how some of them struggled to carry on practicing once classes closed down.
Of course, you will be able to meet up with on a one-to-one outside now, as long as you keep your social distancing and use your appropriate judgment to decide on
exactly.
That's a possibility. Well, look, it's been great talking to you, Larry. Marvelous. Maybe we'll have another one of these sessions. It always flies. I told you it would fly. So we are just going to remind you of Larry's details. So we are going to go here, not there, that's the wrong one. See how live it is. How
look at this.
Well, yes, Lancaster School of Tai Chi Chuan. So that's it. We thank you for joining us.
Excellent.
And
Can I give a quick plug to the record shop, Curiosity Shop, that is open at 6 Owen Road, Lancaster. It's fundraising for a Tai Chi studio and low-cost community care here in Skirton. So if you can get over to the...
Well, you just have, Larry. Would you like to do, always happy to give everybody a quick plug. Would you like to do it again? Take a breath and just tell us
Thanks,
in 2 seconds, 15 seconds about this.
Postcards, records, curiosities, 6 Owen Road, Lancaster.
Right. Sold in a very mindful way. Yes. With lots of marvelous. Well, thank you so much, Larry, and I will see you soon. And that's it. Until next time.
Good stuff. Thank you, Michael.